is everybody comfortable with blockchain?
No, it would be nice to explain a little bit more.
Can you give a 1 minute?
1 minute for blockchain?
Yeah.
All right.
So blockchain,
Can we put the train
I
on
love
the-
hearing people describe
We can put a
blockchain.
train on the
It's like this mystical creature that kind of everybody's kind of like, you know, with their eyes closed and like, oh, it feels like this. I think it's like this. It's got a
1 minute for blockchain. Okay, that's challenging. All right. So this is just the way how we store the data. Imagine your hard drive. Imagine you open the folder with files. You can actually just click any file and delete it, and actually you will delete a piece of information. That's how the generally information stored in some data storage. There's a bunch of files, and they all can be deleted anytime. The blockchain is a quite different conception, because when we speak about the blockchain, data is kept in small blocks, so chunks of data, and those chunks connected with each other with some specifically related to each other information. So it looks like a chain, you know, a lot of different blocks connected with each other, and you just cannot pull out one block. And you cannot change data in one block, because otherwise, if you will do it, you need to change all the blocks that are going to be after that, because they all connected with each other. And because of that, if you're observing how the blockchain is building, you can be quite sure that after the end, you can compare your pair of blockchain with the blockchain that has been built, and if there will be no difference, you can be 100% sure that after the block was ended and another block was written, nothing has been changed in that particular block and that piece of data. That's why blockchain is so great, and that's why Bitcoin costs like, I don't know, $1 still. And
I think that was really good for 1 minute. Is people pretty comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Great.
So voting application. Pure voting, we're speaking with a lot of governments, but it's like it's political decision. So if there's 5 years of transition, we need in order to just persuade governments that you need to go to online voting. Russian government, is still surprising for me, adopted online voting. That was this September. That was the first blockchain-based elections. And 2021, they promised that they will introduce the whole Russia with the blockchain elections. That will be something. Right now, I would like to tell you just 2 stories how we utilize the actual transparent and honest voting. 2 minutes. All right. So just this one is purely on Russian. I'm sorry, but this is a case for participatory budgeting. For instance, participatory budgeting is a giant process, but it still involves voting for projects. What we've done, here's the place in Russia. Each white spot is the municipality. You can go to municipality that belongs to you, like where you're living, and see some projects. Here's the water treatment, here's the roads, sidewalks, another road, lighting. So like local projects. And the one that you would like, you can see the price for the project, the location, and for one that you like, you can go inside, and I think you will not be able to vote right now because I'm not authorizing here, but you can authenticate yourself with your phone number. You can see it right now, you will see it right now, and then go and vote with the same application that you see on your website, on the papers that I gave to you. Here's this example of phone number authentication, right? And after that, actually, during this process, there was a lot of people involved, 0 information campaign, only social media reposting stuff. And in the end, we've got 161,000 votes, and voters, and 250,000 votes. In general, in this area, which is like the size of Portugal, or something like that, Russia is really big. So this is like a Portugal, I'm not joking. There's just 2 million people living here, so in the end we've got about 10% turnout, which is great for this. Even the general voting campaign cannot just show the 10%, we'll get 10%. So this is just an example. If you give the people the very useful application, they will use it, especially if it's connected with them, with their, with their needs. The second one is the student vote. That's one we hear most because students is the future, like elderly people who will take decisions, future politicians. Student voting is really important when you have not the delegation voting, but direct elections of the student council, or student referendum, or student participatory budgeting. Whatever a student can do, they don't have a legislation, They don't need to stick to the rules, stick to the laws. They can come up with their own rules, and they can adopt digital voting pretty easily. So that's like, I will not take more time of yours if you have any questions after the panel. And there's a brochure with our cases for participatory budgeting, student voting, youth parliament elections, but political party primaries, by the way, if you'd like to see. So it's all written in the brochure.
We've launched our international democracy community, and so the idea that we had is a bit different to NewVote and to Polis, in that it's really more of a community website. If you look at the kinds of websites that Dion listed, it's not a voting platform or anything like this. It's supportive infrastructure. So what we do at Democracy International is we try to help people who work on direct democracy around the world do their work better, basically, by learning from each other, by coming to places like this, by making information available to people. And one of the things that we noticed in organizing this global forum, for example, over the past 10 years, is that it's really necessary there's so many great initiatives around the world, and we just usually don't hear from them. There's so many things out there that we don't know, and there's so many great people doing amazing things around the world, and we wanted to find a way to connect them. And so this is our attempt to do that. So basically, our community, it has three sort of parts, and I think the biggest one, or the most clear one, is that it's a map. So basically it's an atlas of democracy activists and organizations around the world. We wanted to just visualize what is out there and what exists. 1 minute. Oh, God. So, as you can see on this map, there's events, individuals, and organizations. All of them have something to do with direct democracy. If you click on this, then you can see this is, for example, an organization that has made a profile where they basically can explain what they do, where they are, how you can get in touch with them. You can post different things on there, for example, like what you are interested in, what you can offer to other people, what campaigns you're working on, many things, and also events, and I think that's an interesting one. Because it enables people who are if I live in Cologne, Germany, then I could go on there theoretically and find out that next week there's a very interesting Stammtisch, is what we call it in German, which is basically a discussion round over a beer on direct democracy, and I would have the possibility to join that, and I wouldn't otherwise know that that's going on. So, and finally, there's a story section to it. So because we just wanna, our goal is really to make this community, to make what you guys do visible. And so this is just stories that we would also source from the community. We just launched it, so it's all work in progress. But I would really encourage everyone also to go and have a look and to let us know what you think.
Thanks very much for that. And it's fantastic to see that. I think it's really useful, especially considering the way that we're trying to communicate with each other at the moment. Organizations, they'll have email lists, and we all get emails, so many emails from organizations, and you start to filter. If you might even have your inbox have two separate inboxes. One's focus and one's all the other stuff. So even organizations you care about and you'd like to sort of, when you sign up, you think, yeah, I'll get those updates. Our life gets really busy. So inboxes kind of just start to, and anyone working in an organization nowadays will use something like MailChimp or something like that. And they'll be able to tell how many percentage of people are actually opening their emails and what percentage are clicking on the links. It's utterly demoralizing. to see that, right? The other thing is that we often promote ourselves or we communicate through Facebook. And you know, when Facebook started up, you posted something, all your friends would see it. Nowadays, if you post something, 25% will see it, maybe under 25%. If it's something that just really is really, you know, vulgar or emotional, and people are giving the strong reacts, not just a like, but if they give the love or the sad or the angry reacts, then a bit more percentage of your community will actually see it. But so it's kind of like, you know, you've got an event, like, you know, you were explaining, Caroline, and you put it out there, less than 25% of people are going to see that. And that's just if they're paying attention, you know? So I think that this is really good to have a kind of a central place where we can all go, for those that are interested in this kind of thing. And it'll be really great to see how it develops. So yeah. All good. So I will talk to you about what NewVote is, and if you want more information about NewVote, just go to newvote.org. This here is the homepage of one of our communities, and it's a community called Speaker, and we've developed it with the University of Queensland Student Union. And so it has the sort of you know, byline here. It has some statistics about that community, so how many members, how many issues are on there, how many solutions. You can jump straight into issues, and there's this explanation here. Basically, it's the UK Union telling their members, this is what we're doing. We're working with NewVote, we've created this site, we want to listen to you. You know, it's very important to listen to students. It's not exactly saying, if you vote for something, we will definitely do it. Different organisations are going to have different levels of engagement that they want to, you know, that they want to use. You know, on one level, the extreme part is this is the voting mechanism. Whatever you vote for, that's the vote. That's binding. That's what the organisation will do, and that spectrum goes all the way down to simply, you know, informing. You know, this is like a suggestion box. Don't expect too much, but if you've got a good idea, of course, we'll probably jump onto it. So this is where, you know, the leaders in our community are essentially saying what their commitment is. And then these are the issues. So you click on an issue, you have social sharing there, there's a title, there's tags that the issue falls within, like the topics. There's an information summary here that, you know, essentially the leaders write this at this stage, but in the future we want that to be a publicly editable wiki, using the wiki, you know, sort of thousand eyes effect. Third-party media, so there might be articles or there might be minutes from meetings or whatever you want to add in there. And then there's a voting on solutions. So here, this one is I don't believe my voice matters at UQ. You can't see the results yet until you vote, because we don't want to bias the result. But so, for example, if I try to vote on that, anybody can see this community, but if I try to vote on that, it's going to say you need to verify your account. We are using what's called the single sign-on. It's a technology that's used throughout the world at university level. So you sign on to your library, or you sign on to, you know, see your results. We integrate with that, so that we know that it's only students that are voting, and we know that they're only voting once. That's what we're using at the moment, because we're basically growing into the university market across Australia and hopefully soon around the world. And the other type of verification we use is the mobile phone verification. So if you're not a university but you want to use NewVote, then we use the password sent to your phone. But it's a case-by-case basis, as I was saying earlier. If we were to team up with a jurisdiction, we would integrate with whatever, you know, political records they have there, you know, voter records and that kind of stuff, just as Polis would do so. So that's my app there. Without signing in, I can't actually show you the suggestions part, but basically down the bottom of this page, there's community suggestions. So students can post something publicly, and other students are able to vote up and down on it. And if you don't see your suggestion, then just below here there is you can add your own suggestions. So it's very easy for students to be able to contribute. And so we started that only about 2 months ago. It's also very fresh, and we're working with the University of Queensland Union to popularise it, and also taking the feedback from the students and iterating and making an app that students really want to use. Okay, so that's NewVote.